Steven and Andy, caffeinated travelers and brand new van lifers. If you saw our last vlog, you already know that we flew to Portland, Oregon.
It is so much colder here than we're used to.
To pick up our new Sprinter camper van. Now we have to drive it back to the East Coast. But first, we get to spend our first night in it.
Last you saw us, we were getting set up in Portland, Oregon with our brand new camper van.
Yeah. Well, new to us at least.
True.
We're here in Astoria, Oregon, right on the coast. It is also the location of the classic piece of cinema, Goonies.
And we haven't seen anything yet because the drive from Portland took us a while. We ran a lot of errands before we came here, and by the time we got out here, it was pitch black. So we parked up in an RV park. We wanted to play it safe. Someplace with facilities, someplace we could make a reservation, you know, just kind of ease ourselves into this van life thing.
Yeah, movies and all.
We're going to try to go to bed now. Hopefully we can get some sleep. We'll get up early in the morning, and then we can check out Astoria. Good morning. That's the fantasy, isn't it? Waking up in the morning, this beautiful misty view of nature, a creek running just outside of your park up. It's beautiful here. It was nice and quiet last night. We both were able to get plenty of rest. We actually had a very good first night in our van. Now, let's show you the reality. We are living in a tiny space here. I'm gonna give you a very brief tour, but actually we're gonna be changing a lot of what's going on in this van on the inside. We really bought this for the vehicle. However, the build out is definitely not to our lifestyle. There was a solo traveler living in this van before us, so it's definitely built for one person. For instance, this very little fridge here, super cute. But this is not gonna work for the two of us. We definitely need a bigger freezer, a bigger fridge, something to accommodate enough food for the both of us for at least a few days at a time. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments to the kitchen area and everything so that we can have a larger fridge in here. Not full size or anything, but just bigger than that. We have a setup here for cooking, and we have a camp cooker here. That came with the van as well. But eventually we'd like to build in like a proper cooktop that's built into the counter and everything. And actually we're probably gonna move this over next to the door. So that way we can also have the faucet for the sink being able to go out the door if we need to rinse things out or anything like that. In the back here, you saw we had a Murphy bed that folded down from the top here. Really nice use of space and actually very, very innovative. There's also a table on it that you can pull out if you want. Definitely was good for the person who was living here before. We like it. However, that Murphy bed makes a lot of noise. Can you demonstrate, please?
Actually, it's pretty tight right now.
Well, now that we have our bed made, it's actually holding it pretty good. Yesterday while we were driving though, that thing was creaking.
It sounds like a jalopy.
This also only has about 100 amp hours of battery in here. We're definitely gonna need a lot more than that, and we need to have a place to house all of that. So we think we're probably gonna end up building out a platform bed in the back, something permanent. I just don't wanna deal with having to put a bed together every night when we go to bed. And then we'll do a battery bank underneath there in the back. So this is all going to change out by the time that we're done with it. But one of the reasons we really, really liked this, aside from the fact that it was a solid vehicle, was because it was already built out.
Yeah.
So we
get right on the road.
Exactly. We could keep traveling, we could keep doing our thing, do some projects on the van, do the build in between, and that way we don't turn into like a van build channel, which is totally cool, but it's just not us.
Yeah.
We are really focused on the travel. We want to go places, we want to see things, we want to connect with people, and this will allow us to continue doing that while also building out the van projects. So do not worry, this channel is not changing. We're not going to be traveling less. In fact, now that we have this, we're going to be traveling a lot more.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to get around, see all 50 states, see some friends and family in different places, meet a few people that we've gotten to know online in the last couple of years that we haven't met in person yet. This is going to make it possible for us to do all of that, and we are so excited. I almost forgot something really important. The previous owner did not have a toilet in here. I think she said she used a bucket, but we actually want to be able to use harvest hosts, which allows you to park overnight at like vineyards, breweries, farms, really cool sites, and museums and stuff around the country. We want to take advantage of that so that we can meet locals, support local businesses, and we're definitely going to be making a video about that once we start doing it. But in order to use harvest host sites, we have to have a fully self-contained vehicle, which means a cooktop, water, and of course, facilities. So we had it shipped out to us so that as soon as we picked up the van, we had it from day one. We got a separate tiny toilet. And, well, right now it's just kind of sitting in the back here. At some point, we will definitely be building this out with a full bathroom, so we'll have some privacy and not just have the toilet in the back of the van, because it's kind of weird. We're spending the morning in Astoria, Oregon, which, in addition to being a beautiful Pacific Coast town in Northwest Oregon, is also the filming location for amazingly classic movies like Kindergarten Cop and Goonies.
Even the trash cans have a vintage beachy theme. We are stopping here to get some coffee because even though we made some in the van this morning, our coffee to water ratios were all off, so we got to figure out that pour over situation before we try it again. Instead, we're going to come here and get some pros to make it for us.
We are at the Rusty Cub in downtown Astoria with a proper cup of coffee. No shade to Steven, he did his best. And we think we solved the coffee problem in the van as well. However, I just want to give a really big shout out to my girlfriend Christy. She sponsored today's coffees and we're so grateful. Thank you so much, Christy.
Thank you, Christy.
This buzz is for you. Now to Cannon Beach. We are going to walk down to the beach where we're going to see Haystack Rock. This thing is supposed to be pretty cool. Oh my gosh, you can barely even make it out in the fog, even though it's right there.
We can barely see this thing through all the fog, but even at that, we can tell it is massive. In fact, it's the third tallest intertidal sea stack in the world.
This amazing location was also the site of an iconic scene at the end of Goonies and the final scene of Point Break. But what we like the best about it is that if you come at the right time of year, you can apparently see puffins here. We're not here the right time of year. Wow, Oregon has a gorgeous coast, and we have barely scratched the surface of it. Unfortunately, tomorrow we start the drive all the way across the country so that we can get our van back home to North Carolina, get her registered, and start doing some of the updates and changes we want to do. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. We'll see you next time.